You know, my phone alerts me whenever the alarm goes off, and over the last 4 months, every time that my phone buzzes, it's like, not again.
Yeah, that local restaurant owner says his business has been hit multiple times, and he's not alone. We're going to share everything we know about these suspects that police say stole from more than 100 local businesses.
And will they or will they not go on strike? That's the question currently looming over the Beaverton School District, as teachers say it is too expensive to live where they work. The latest contract negotiations.
Oh, it's like Taylor Swift walking through the airport. It is very difficult for that thing to sneak up on anyone.
It's a police canine that looks a little different than the ones we're used to, right? Later this hour, we're going to meet Spot. We're going to meet Spot, the Port of Portland's new robot dog. That's coming up here in this Friday edition of KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning and happy Friday to you. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Let's bring in two of our best friends, Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill. Chris Heel, Rod, forecast.
Here we go. Not as cold this morning. It's still chilly, but not as cold. I think you'll notice the difference when you step outdoors. Here's our good visibility look at the Capitol down in Salem this morning. 33 is the temperature. There are some frosty spots around. Portland, not one of them. So far, this is our low temperature, 34 degrees. The cloudiness we had last night has passed through the area, and that is allowing falling temperatures. Could have some valley fog develop in the coming hours. We'll have sunshine this afternoon. I have us 40 at noon and mid-40s for your high temperature. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. If you were watching sunrise yesterday, you probably were warned about the interstate bridge lifts. Do we have that video? Do we have that video going once, going twice? No, we'll have that later. Okay, sorry about that. In any event, the bridge lifts are over with, and this is the I-5 commute right now through North Portland near Jansen Beach. You can see traffic rolling along just fine there. Over on the west side, Highway 26 near 217 looks pretty good as well. And down to Wilsonville, it's getting a little busier. We've gone from 65 miles an hour down to 62 miles an hour. The point is, we've got a speed limit commute, guys. We're in pretty good shape out there this morning. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris.
They can be in and out in a matter of minutes. They've actually found a lot of ways to circumvent locks.
That man's talking about a crime spree that has targeted more than 100 Portland area businesses here over the last several months.
Now, Portland police indicted 2 suspects yesterday, and we expect to get an update on the investigation today. Our Ashley Grahams joins us in the studio. So, Ashley, what do we know so far?
Well, we do know at least 2 people were caught on camera. Take a look. The thieves, armed with bolt cutters, broke into Grassa, a pasta restaurant in southeast Portland. The owner of the restaurant told us the team was organized and hit several of his locations over the past 4 months, some multiple times. Investigators say this pattern continued on for months. The thieves also hitting Baby Doll Pizza and Old Town Brewing. Then officers arrested a pair of suspects, 27-year-old Courtney Carlisle and 33-year-old Joshua Lucero. This week, they were indicted on a combined 85 charges. But the owner of Grassa knows the investigation isn't over yet.
Try to rally the rest of the people who maybe haven't reported it to the police department for one reason or another. Maybe have other footage that could help catch the rest of these people. You know, get in touch with the police department. They are actively looking for these people, and maybe we can get all of them.
Now, investigators believe there are many more people involved in this burglary ring, possibly more than 10. And as we get updates on this case, we'll bring them to you on air and online. Drew?
Yeah, again, Ashley, we expect more on this later today. Meanwhile, 2 teenagers are in jail facing charges for Portland's first homicide of the year. Last Monday, a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old allegedly shot and killed a man in the parking lot of the Gateway Fred Meyer in Northeast Portland. According to police, Jonathan Trent, you see him right there, was shot as he tried to stop the teens from stealing a woman's purse. Both are charged with murder and robbery. Coming up tonight on The Story, a new series called Still Searching. It looks at cold cases in the region that remain unsolved, and the series starts in Clackamas County with a case from the 1970s. More than 50 years later, investigators say they still haven't given up, and neither has the family of Rita Jolly. Rita was 17 years old when she disappeared from her parents' home in West Lynn during the summer of 1973. She went on a walk and never came back. Rita's father talked with KGW just days after he reported her missing, but his pleas for help never led anywhere. Here we are 5 decades later, and we're now hearing from Rita's sister, who says she's still hoping for answers.
I wish that we'd all had more time with her. You know, I wish the world had had more time with her. I think that she had something very unique to offer. You know, it's not too late to have somebody come forward and say, you know, I did see her that night, or I know it happened.
We also sit down with an investigator from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office who's working to see if there could be a connection between Rita's case and a convicted killer who operated on the Washington side of the Columbia River around the time that Rita went missing.
It's the same MO, like her age, you know, that kind of thing. But of course, he was up in Clark County. Where was he in 1973? The first thing I wanted to know was the timeline.
You can watch the full report on this coming up tonight at 6:30, only on The Story.
On his first day in office, President Trump declared immigration a national emergency and tasked the U.S. military with aiding in broader security. 1,500 troops are headed to the U.S.-Mexico border. ICE agents have started arresting migrants with criminal records in Boston. Mexico says it's building massive tents near the border in anticipation of a huge wave of deported people.
President Trump's plan to carry out what he called the largest deportation in U.S. history has already hit a few snags. Yesterday, a federal judge in Seattle granted a temporary restraining order pausing the president's efforts to overturn birthright citizenship. The decision came following a lawsuit from several states, including Oregon and Washington. The president wants to limit automatic citizenship to children born to U.S. citizens and green card holders only, not immigrants who are here undocumented. The judge said President Trump's order, quote, boggles the mind, and he also said it's, quote, blatantly unconstitutional. A hearing is scheduled in 2 weeks to decide if the order will be blocked long term.
Meanwhile, some immigrant families are still wondering whether it's safe to send their kids to school. The Trump administration announced Tuesday that it will allow federal immigration agencies to make arrests at schools, churches, and hospitals. The Corvallis School District superintendent reassured parents, saying they do not collect information about student status, and even if they did, they would not share it. Springfield Public Schools has also said it will follow established protocols and practices to ensure the safety of its students. In other news this morning, Boeing is warning investors to brace for a steep quarterly loss and lower sales. The company expects a $4 billion loss, which is triple what Wall Street analysts predicted. Boeing says defense business charges and the 7-week Boeing machinist strike in Oregon and Washington are to blame here.
Coming up next Tuesday, the city of Tigard is launching a new online portal to make requesting non-emergency services a little easier. So in this case, non-emergency services would be things like potholes or broken streetlights. You can find details on how to submit a request on the City of Tigard's website.
All right, before we get to Rod, we want to show you this scene on Lake Erie where a ship got trapped in the ice. The freighter was headed to Ontario, Canada, when it got stuck. All 17 people on board got out safely. A Coast Guard search and rescue specialist says these kind of ships are usually able to navigate icy conditions, but sometimes the ice is too hard or thick for them to break through. So pretty cold out there. For us, it's the opposite, a little warmer.
My mother taught me when the big tanker gets stuck because it's so icy, it's safe to go ice skating. I think that's probably fair statement.
Okay.
Here's a look at our dry weather coming straight out of Canada. This is another batch of air that not only would keep our sunny days going, at least this afternoon, but it will also keep our frosty nights in the 20s going more than not, all the way into at least Tuesday morning of next week. So here we go, more of the same to come. Now, you see the clouds down around Medford. That's the front, the swing door that's allowing this new batch of cold, dry air, or chilly, dry air to come down into us. Didn't really have any moisture with that, didn't expect any. But those clouds that were overnight passing through have kept temperatures at least a little bit warmer than what we otherwise have been. We're now down to 34 degrees out in at the airport. It's in the mid-30s in downtown Portland as well. 32 Beaverton, 28 in Hillsboro. Again, temperatures are still going down. 36 Oregon City, 36 in West Linn. I mean, clearly we're not as cold as we have been overall. 33 in Salem, but it's 27 now out in McMinnville. Here's your forecast dry map today. Highs in the 30s out east, about 40 in Central Oregon, mid-40s in the Dalles and the river today. Still mid to upper 40s at the coast. And generally speaking, expecting no wind, sunny skies this afternoon, and mid-40s from Albany up through Portland, Vancouver, and up into Kelso, Longview. I've got it set 45 degrees. We could have some valley fog develop. Futurecast is showing this in the coming hours. We would clear out for the afternoon. All sunny for your weekend. Don't forget the breezy east winds coming out of the gorge tomorrow. Not as breezy near the gorge on Sunday. And look at all the lows. 27 Sunday morning, 27 Monday morning, 29 Tuesday morning. Next shot of rain coming in on Thursday. That's your forecast.
Yeah, chilly stretch of days, Rod.